there's been a seismic shift in the crypto political landscape in the last 2 weeks. And it started really with a kind of a bizarre missive from the White House that said President Biden is going to veto the overturn of SAB 21. And when you think about that, you've got a president pre-announcing he's going to veto an arcane accounting rule that the SEC had filed. Like, you're like, why? And Donald Trump, over the savvy political machine, says, wait a minute, I'm going to be the crypto president. A lot of people like that stuff, Bitcoin. I don't like it so much myself, but I tell you, you like it, I'm going to support you. I'm going to be your president. And, you know, for years, I've been in D.C. trying to tell people this should be a bipartisan issue. It needs to be a bipartisan issue. Telling my Democratic friends, guys, don't keep poking the beast. And that was the day the beast got poked, right? I tweeted, wow, the Democratic Party has decided they're going to be the party that doesn't like dogs, right? There are more crypto owners in America than there are dog owners. And a lot of them are single issue voters. In that week, that was it. You could see it on crypto Twitter. People got fierce. It almost became a purity test. If you don't vote Republican, you're not really a crypto guy. And the Democratic Party heard that. And so what did you see?
Wait a minute, everyone. We all agree that the crypto market never sleeps, but with countless newsletters out there, how do you choose the best one for you? Bitcoinzilla stands out with its simplicity and clarity. We've crafted an experience that anyone can dive into, whether you're a crypto expert or just a new to the crypto world. Now guess who keeps his eye on us? The author of best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And we want to take this opportunity and thank all the people who trusted us, and we read every comment. And the best part, it's free. Subscribing now means you will get all new information for free. Don't just follow the trends, stay ahead of them. Subscribe to Bitcoinzilla today and enjoy the new edge. Let's join Mike Novogratz in a conversation about these topics and more.
First, you saw 9 Democratic senators cross the aisle on SAB 121, which is really an arcane accounting rule that will allow TradeFi custodians into our space, right? And so that's a big deal, including Senator Schumer, the head of the Senate, and more importantly from New York, where there are a lot of crypto jobs. The same day, or 2 days later, the SEC says, well, calls up all the ETF applicants, get ready. I don't know what happened. It certainly feels like someone from the White House called Mr. Gensler and said, dude, you got to change your stance. It's the only thing that logically makes sense. Of course, I wasn't there. I can't tell you for sure. But now we've got an ETF coming. The wonderful thing about a decentralized movement is it's decentralized, and it takes an army, right? Brian Armstrong's got, I think, 16 people in D.C. constantly pushing and lobbying. There are tons of people who run crypto companies who have a vested interest, and people that don't, who are sending in letters that are trying to get to the right players. And so I'd like to think Galaxy was part of that, but by no means can we take a lot of the credit.
I would be keen to hear like some of what happened behind the scenes, but I want to move on now to ETFs. So collectively, the first 5 months of trading, we're looking at roughly $58 billion across all of the spot Bitcoin ETFs. I went through all those 13F filings. I was looking at which Wall Street banks, which hedge funds newly had exposure to Bitcoin through these spot Bitcoin ETFs. And there aren't a ton. And those who do, I think Morgan Stanley has something on the scale of 270 million collectively. And I was reaching out to these banks and asking them, you know, is this an endorsement of Bitcoin as an asset class? And resoundingly, the kind of response that I was hearing is it was more a reflection of their like wealth asset management clients wanting this. So they were responding to what their customers wanted rather than backing the asset itself. You come from Goldman Sachs. You talk to institutions all the time. What are they saying?
Listen, the two biggest things that will shift the landscape in the U.S. around crypto is this accounting rule being passed or being overturned and the market infrastructure bill, right? What does the accounting rule do? It allows Bank of New York and State Street, the world's biggest custodians, to start custodying crypto. And the market structure bill, not good for me because the day after it passes, Citibank's going to be calling the headhunters to call for my employees. But what has stopped Wall Street at large from being a participant in the digital markets is regulatory uncertainty. It's the fear that the Fed is going to call and say, no, you can't do that. The fear the SEC is going to be down their throat. The fear that they're going to get a Wells notice, just like almost all the crypto companies. And so as that goes away, you will see a stampede of Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley and Citibank and Jefferies and everybody else into this space. I'm hoping, in some ways, I hope it gets delayed a little bit, allows guys like us to build our muscles a little stronger, because like that's really when the big show happens on who's going to be the service providers to the universe that comes in. And so, yeah, the first movers are wealth management clients who said, I want some of this. And just so you know, places like Morgan Stanley, they need that ETF to season for a little more than 3 months before their salesmen are even allowed to pick up the phone and call and say, hey, guy in the white hat in the front row, I think you should put 2% of your portfolio into Bitcoin. Yeah. And remember, people don't just buy Bitcoin, they get orange pilled. Bitcoin is sold, right? There's an army, all of you are part of it, that convince someone of the merits of crypto, of Bitcoin or Ethereum or Ripple if you're Brad Garlinghouse, right? This is a really interesting point. Because it's a new asset, it almost is always sold, right? Larry Fink got orange pilled. He didn't wake up one day and say, God, let me become a Bitcoin firm. There was a concerted effort by 10, 12 people to convince them of why Bitcoin was important for the future. And so now you've got hundreds of salesmen at Morgan Stanley and the other, RIAs all around America who are learning the story themselves and picking up the phone and telling their clients, put 2% of your portfolio. What are you scared of? Right? That conversation is starting to happen. This is a 10-year conversation, not a 10-week conversation.
Michael Dell, CEO of Dell Technologies, has hinted at potential Bitcoin investments with a cryptic social media message following his $2.1 billion stock cash-out. Dell Technologies stock surged, boosting Dell's net worth to $120 billion. Dell has $5.83 billion available, raising speculation about Bitcoin investment. Dell's tweet and subsequent activity have sparked rumors of Bitcoin investment. Dell cashed out $2.1 billion but retained 58% of his company, indicating available capital for Bitcoin. Analyst Joe Consorti suggests even a 1% investment in Bitcoin could double returns based on past performance. Despite skepticism from other top investors like Warren Buffett, MicroStrategy's $6.33 billion Bitcoin profit shows the potential benefits.
There are two things that people really like. We all know there are $45 trillion of baby boomer wealth sitting in the registered investment advisors. That's a giant amount of wealth. It's the single richest age group in the history of the planet. And they're going to die. Just like Charlie Munger passed away, God rest his soul, and that money is going to younger people and younger people like crypto. So as we see this generational shift of wealth, it is shifting into a group that is really happy with digital assets, that is comfortable with digital assets, that likes, that they think this is their asset class. And so that's the one thing. And the second is we have a government that can't keep its pants on. Like we have a government that can't stop spending money. On the left and on the right, Congress is failing us as citizens. They are spending too much, and that is the narrative for why Bitcoin goes higher. The same narrative for gold and silver is the narrative for Bitcoin. That's not going away.
Analysts predict Bitcoin may bottom in June, setting the stage for major gains and an alt season. Bitcoin has bottomed in June for the past 4 years. Bitcoin's price is stable but may signal a bottom this month. Bitcoin could break its all-time high and aim for $100,000. A strong alt season is expected to follow Bitcoin's rise. Bitcoin's historical June bottoms, $9,013, 2020, $29,500, 2021, $19,000, 2022, $24,000, 2023. Analysts believe this trend may continue. If Bitcoin bottoms this June, it could consolidate before reaching new highs. Analysts, including Dr. Profit, foresee significant gains and encourage holders to remain patient. A rise in Bitcoin could trigger an alt season, bringing new highs for various cryptocurrencies. While wrapped digital assets have enabled the bridging of assets and expanded their utility, their perceived need for custodianship, reintroduces centralization risks and trust dependencies. This contradicts the decentralized ethos of blockchain technology, according to Chris Lai, founder and CTO of AVA Protocol. The Federal Accounting Standards Advisory Board, FASAB, has clarified that seized crypto assets should be treated as non-monetary property, while central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, should be treated as monetary instruments. The federal authority claims that cryptocurrencies do not typically possess all monetary characteristics, emphasizing that they are not effective as a unit of account, medium of exchange, or store of value. In the realm of Bitcoin trading, technical analysis can play a significant role, with oscillators being pivotal tools. Oscillators developed over decades assist traders in making informed decisions by analyzing price momentum and market conditions. This article delves into the history and usage of key oscillators leveraged in Bitcoin trading. If you've been with us so far, a big thank you. Don't forget to subscribe for free to Bitcoin Zella for your daily news. The link is waiting below. That's all for today's crypto news. Stick around for more updates, insights, and analysis on cryptocurrencies. Share your thoughts in the comments, like this video, and subscribe for more exciting content.